Well, it's very sad what happened in Morocco. We reach out to friends, colleagues, and family who live in that wonderful country. I hope you rebuild and heal the wounds of devastation. Today, there's so many video cameras out there that can capture these devastating events. Morocco is no exception. But what people saw before the earthquake is truly fascinating. These videos are showing earthquake lights, a precursor to a large seismic event. Similar effects have been seen all over the world. Light energy produced by the Earth before a large seismic event is now accepted by geologists. I've been fascinated by this subject for many years. Many of you will have seen my interview with Paul Devereaux about Earth light. But in the case of an earthquake, what possible geological mechanism could produce photons? So today, let's look at the science of earthquake lights with some startling new information. For centuries, eyewitnesses have reported seeing an inexplicable phenomenon. Strange lights emerging from the ground, or weird glowing lights in the sky. These are known as earthquake lights. Today, a fascinating new theory confirms they are real and offers a possible explanation, one drawn from existing laws of physics that explain how rocks under immense pressure might emit light. I became fascinated by strange earth phenomenon as a child. The Brocken, Will-o'-the-Wisp, St Elmo's Fire, and a story from North Wales of pillars of light rising out of the ground. For hundreds of years there have been legends associated with strange earth lights. They were a possible source for dragon sightings, ghosts, evil spirits, and in our culture, flying saucers. Most of these reports came from places in the world with strong seismic activity. But earthquake lights, due to their fleeting nature, have been hard for the scientific community to research, record, or explain. Few photographs exist. Even today, with camera phones, there are only a few blurry snaps and some CCTV footage. But all that changed on the 13th of March 2011, when the Sakurajima volcano erupted in Japan. Scientists studying the volcano had set up a remote camera to record any possible volcanic activity. What they recorded stunned them. For the first time, the Earthlight phenomenon was recorded in real time. What this footage triggered was possibly a whole new scientific model of how these lights could be produced. To understand this new theory, you first have to understand a very ancient concept: how light is made. The early universe had no light. The first ancient glow only emerged after atoms of hydrogen and helium became stable. the clouds of primordial gas became transparent, releasing our first source of light. In a strange correlation to the Christian Bible creation story, after a period of darkness, the forces of nature said, "Let there be light." The universe lit up. When billions of atoms released their energy from a highly charged state and fell into the stable form we see today. This is one way that photons and light are produced. Imagine a hydrogen atom. Its mainly positive nucleus surrounded by a field of negative energy that we call an electron. There's no single electron particle, more a probability, a negative state of charge hovering above the nucleus, but that strays into the weird world of quantum physics. Keeping it simple, these electrons can exist or orbit the atom at different heights. Think of an aircraft or a satellite circling the Earth. When in a highly charged state, an electron can circle in a higher orbit, but when less excited, it drops down into its more stable orbit, attracted by the pull from the proton's opposite charge. But energy is neither created or destroyed. And here's my analogy. Just like an aircraft landing, the electron has to shed or reduce power to descend into a lower orbit. It does that by losing its energy in the form of a photon. And that is how light is produced by atoms. Well, when I say light, I mean energy in the electromagnetic spectrum. Of course, us humans only see a tiny range of that energy with our eyes, just a few frequencies from red to blue. There are many more, clearly visible to instruments with sensors tuned to those frequencies. But the most important thing to understand about this process is light is only produced when an atom or an electron loses energy. No light is produced when it's in an excited state. This fundamental law of physics might well reveal one mechanism that produces earthquake lights, but supporting evidence was hard to find. There have been a few brave souls who took on the challenge of searching for a way the Earth could produce light. One theory is this: the piezoelectric effect. This works when certain minerals, mainly quartz, is crushed and suddenly released. The crystalline structure can compress and slide past each other. As its facets spring back into shape, a small amount of electrical energy is generated, enough to make a spark and light your barbecue. Given the vast pressure of an earthquake, it seems possible that quartz, buried deep inside the Earth, could cause a giant spark, maybe enough to ionize air and turn it into a glowing plasma. But earthquake lights occur in regions devoid of quartz. Another theory is that any rock under enough pressure can ionize trapped oxygen. As it rises to the surface, the oxygen plasma manifests as light emerging from the ground. But Earth lights have a weirder feature that is not easily explained. People see glowing balls of light floating in the air. These have been mistaken for UFOs, and in fact are the origin of the term flying saucer. On June the 24th, 1947, pilot Kenneth Arnold spotted strange orbs of light flying above Mount Rainier, USA. He described the lights skipping around and as flying discs. His sighting soon got press interest and a copywriter for an Oregon newspaper, changed Arnold's description of flying discs into the headline, "Flying Saucers." This was a time of post-World War II tension. An alien invasion was on everyone's mind. The rest is history. Not so well reported was the fact that recent earthquakes had occurred in the Mount Rainier area. It is now suspected that Kenneth Arnold saw earthquake lights over the seismically active peak. But the Sakurajima volcano holds a clue that possibly reveals what is going on deep underground. When this footage was analysed, a strange and previously unobserved phenomenon was clearly seen. And you can see it too. Watch how the Earthlight emissions grow in strength shortly after a volcanic plume is released. This seems to support the idea of immense forces changing the state of matter. Under pressure, electrons could be forced into higher orbits. Then, as the pressure is released, light is generated. Here it is again. For the first time, we can see how immense pulsating pressure produces light. Is this atomic theory of atoms emitting photons when excited and returning to a stable state the real answer to this riddle? Well, the exact nature of earthquake lights is still a mystery. Some think the enormous forces of nature might even distort our perception of atomic matter and reality, or they unleash electrical discharges great enough to ionize the air above the ground, manifesting flying saucers and great balls of fire. What we do know is that earthquake lights are real. Earthquake lights are a demonstration of the true power of nature. Earthquake lights are a property of fundamental physics, and earthquake lights hold the key to unlocking more mysteries of our universe. Thanks for watching. If you or your community can help Morocco in any way, please contribute to any charity collections that are happening in your community. In our small village in France, with only a population of 1,000 people, our mayor and councillors are collecting warm clothes for Morocco.